Good afternoon. Oh, really sleepy. Yeah. Om Benzang Guru Pemai Side Hong. 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 Okay, everybody ready to listening teaching? Yes. Oh yeah. Then, for instance, the reflection of the moon in water, or a person appearing on the television screen. A person appears on the screen, but there is not actually a real person in the box. That box, yeah, not real person in that box, right? What happened?
The box disappeared. Now it's a smart screen. It was a stream.
Stream.
You've taken it all the way to emptiness of everything.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the examples talk about emptiness. You know, we can see this all object clearly, right? But they actually not exist inherently there. So otherwise, in the television, the box or whole person can fit to there. Sometimes like 100 people we can see in the television, right? Yeah, but we can see them, but they are not exactly there. So that shows like Dharmakaya means like Buddha's, Bodhisattvas manifestation. Actually, there Buddha, you know, stay like Dharmakaya is same as the like example. The person stay at home. You can broadcast all over the world, right? Broadcast, yeah, all over the world. Same like that. You know, the Dharmakaya means like the absolute Buddha reality is no need to going to somewhere. It's the manifestation is called the what they call the Dharmakaya, Nirmanakaya form body. Nirmanakaya form body is manifestation of the different realms, benefit to others. So this is a good example. The person stay at home but broadcast all over the world. Everywhere you can see that, right? Same thing like example today we pray for Pema Sambhava. Is Pema Sambhava, you know, the Dharmakaya is always there, but his manifestations come to all individual, everyone's, you know, who has strong devotion. They can see there. I don't know, is it clear or no? Yeah, so example, like you stay in your home, you can see the television, you can see that yourself. So then wherever different people stay at their home, they can see that. So same like that, you know, like through the devotion, Buddha's manifestation for that person. So then there's sometimes people think, oh, one Buddha, oh, he can go everywhere, you know, each person to benefit. But you know, like same thing is broadcast. It's the manifestation, you know, like through the devotion, everyone can feel that, everyone can see that. Okay, so I don't know, is it clear or no?
It is clear.
Okay, so then good. It's just to us in illusory manifestation. In the same way, if one is no longer bound by the fixating mind, then appearances clearly appear. Yet they are experienced for what they are, empty in essence. There is no longer any clinging attachment of those appearances. So this is all just main focus is no clinging, no attached to the object. Then you can recognize all the essence of the nature. This is the explanation of the first Pith instruction, which is consent, right? Concerned with the outer object that are apprehended by the mind. See, the first Pith instruction is only focused talk about outer object. So mind cannot be fixation to the outer object. You know fixation to the mind's outer object, mind is naturally liberated, so free from the suffering. So that's the talk about object. Usually in the philosophy we talk about phenomena. So phenomena, then philosophy like talk about laws, each object, you know, the using the logic, use the logically proving not exist. But in Pith instruction means we don't use the logic, we know investigation that. Just talk about directly mind, how to free from that object. So that's what Pith instruction means. Then when there isn't any fixation to these appearances, then the fixation to outer appearances are purified. If one can meditate in this way on appearances without fixation, the appearances are purified. So now we understand, right? Purify means like no attached to that, no clinging to the object, no fixation to the object. Even you seeing clearly, so then mind is not stuck with that, then become purified. Okay, so the second instruction, so that's the first one. Now we go into the second one, the second instruction. The second Pith instruction is the purification of the inwardly apprehending the mind. Inwardly apprehending means like talking about the mind, right? Subject. So we already purify object. Now we purify subject. The purifying of the inwardly fixating mind is referring to the liberation of awareness itself. If one releases fixation on whatever arises in the mind, the mind itself liberated. So actually, you know, with no fixation to the object, mind is naturally released, liberated. So then we have to know awareness. Not only the attached to object, but we have to know, we have to recognize mind nature. So what is fixated on within the mind? The mind grasps at the concepts and the discursive thoughts that arise in it. So no thoughts, you know, thoughts all comes from the mind, yeah? So appearance is like we seeing the object. This already with discussion. So now these thoughts, emotions, they come from the mind. So now we're going to discussion about thoughts and emotions. Long as we have thoughts, emotions come from the mind, then we are not free from suffering, right? Still we have, you know, like all these thoughts take to the suffering. So that's why, so this instruction regards the discursive thoughts of the five poisons the 5 afflictive emotions. So it's the same thing, you know. Sometimes we call 5 afflictive emotions. Sometimes we say 5 poisons. So this is all is actually come from the mind. The mind, when thoughts comes, then thoughts take to this either one, you know, 5 afflictive emotions. So whichever of the 5 afflictive emotions that arise, then there should be no grasping on or fixating on it. So no any thought comes, we cannot grasp into that thought. So the different, right? This morning we're talking about object, not we're talking about the thoughts and the emotions. The mind, thoughts is always appeared and comes. Thoughts, we are told this morning, we cannot stop the thoughts. If we try to stop the thoughts, then called agitation, you know, mind is become more, thoughts comes. So that reason we cannot stop the thoughts, we cannot reject the thoughts. Any thoughts comes, we cannot grasp into the thoughts. If grasping to thoughts, then called become fixating on it. Then it causes emotion. So no clinging or holding to that afflictive emotion. For instance, with the afflictive emotion of anger, if one doesn't grasp at anger, then it will not disturb the mind. The afflictive emotion has many different kinds, but it's usually we talk about the 5 poisons. So another is anger. Anger is, long as we have anger, we never get peace and happy. So then try to reduce anger, you go to object. So you cannot reduce anger, right? So that's why Shantideva, maybe you read his book, it's Way of a Bodhisattva. He's really good, the example he talk about that, you know. You cannot cover the all earth. So that means you cannot subdue like anger to object. So you, like example, one enemy you reduce, another enemy comes. You reduce 2 enemies, 3, 4 enemies arise. So of course, an individual person cannot do that. Even government cannot do that, right? So U.S. is the most powerful country, but try to reduce some, you know, enemies, but then comes more than another place, more than that. So that's why Shantideva said, like, try to reduce anger, look for object, then we try to cover for all earth, you know. Carpets cover for all earth. We cannot cover that, right? So he said, put in the shoes, your feet. So then same is covered all earth. So you reduce, subdued our own mind, then subdued all the, you know, like object ready. Ready means like all, like object is become subdued. So here is the same meaning. If one doesn't grasp at anger, then it will not disturb the mind. So we are not grasping, means like not attached to like anger, and anger is naturally released. Then we get naturally peace our own mind. It will not disturb the mind. See, anger comes. Anger often arises, but we have to look to the anger, have to recognize that, and then naturally, slowly kind of dissolved. So that means like subduing the anger. So that practice is more powerful than meditate compassion, you know. So anger is also good for the practitioners. The practitioners are usually not easy to arise anger, so they cannot easily, you know, like growing the wisdom. Because the anger needed for them anger. So that's why it's called Vajrayana, means 5 afflictive emotion is transformed to the wisdom, you know, 5 wisdoms. So this anger is transformed to the mirror-like wisdom, right? It's 5. I'm not remember exactly how to this associated. Like this 5 poison is associated like 5 wisdoms. So if we not recognize, we are attached, we grasping to anger, then it's cause of the lower realms, yeah, and the suffering. Recognize anger, no grasping to anger, and release anger naturally. They're called wisdom. Then the wisdom is like, maybe I think it's a mirror-like wisdom. So we see, we recognize, you know. So then anger also have many different methods to purify anger. Also like this morning we talk about the dependent level, right? Dependent capacity. This is not easy for beginners. The beginners, when anger comes, not recognize. So that reason, they try to avoid the object. So object is there, cannot control the anger. So try to avoid the object, yeah? So that's called beginners practicing. So now this one is called like practitioners. Then object is there, anger comes, so they recognize right away anger. So then anger, look to the anger, they look to the anger. Anger is naturally emptiness. Anger is groundless. Anger is rootless. So then anger is naturally empty. So that you recognize and instead that mind, then it's called wisdom. Then called mirror-like wisdom, yeah? So you understanding, anger is transformed to the wisdom. So that way is like, here is the, I think, teaching is like, if one doesn't grasping at anger, then it will not disturb the mind. Then any anger comes, all is transformed to the wisdom. No any going to create a problem, you know. So that all anger is become causes of wisdom. Yeah? Okay, so anger will not have the power to disturb the mind if one does not grasp at the emotion or follow after it. This is very easy to talk, but it's not easy to, you know, practice and follow this. So that's why the high, you know, like practitioners only recognize this way. So beginners always try to avoid the object cause, you know, not coming for this. The practitioners, so no problem, you know, anger is good for them too. It's also Buddha, when he gave this Vajrayana teaching, is one king in India, he talked to Buddha, he recalls the same is like this way, you know, Pema Sambhava, old woman, he recalls to Pema Sambhava, right? And in India, Rajigar, one king, he also recalls to Buddha Shakyamuni. So he told Buddha Shakyamuni, I don't want to give up my kingdom, you know, I don't want to give up activity, worldly activities, and I cannot become monk. So you give me some, you know, like very special teachings. Not for same as the monks follow, you know, Vinayana rules. So then Buddha, then he talked to this Vajrayana teaching. He said, as your kingdom has lots garbage, you know, garbage. That time the garbage is no same as this time garbage, you know, this time is lots of chemical things, right? That time is like mostly is come from human beings or animals. So the garbage, but bad, but it's not chemical. And the kingdom has a lot of like that, you know. It's kind of what is called landscape. Usually garbage or put together, what they call the place? Landfill. Okay, he said, your landfill is so bad, so dirty. So Buddha said, this is the same as emotions. So you can use this, put into your field, you know, field, right? Farms. Field, yeah? In the field. Then the oil is become causes of organic food, you know, organic food comes, right? Organic food. They're also good for land, you know, good for land. The farm is very good, you know, soil, yeah, it's soil for that. And it comes good crop. So Buddha said the same is like that. Vajrayana, his teaching is transforming, you know. Emotions no need to throw away. Emotions you have to transform to the wisdom. So then he said, even you don't have to give up your kingdom, you know. So you stay in the kingdom and you can transform to like his emotions. So that teaching is called Vajrayana teaching. Okay, so we can say like recycling, right? Recycling also kind of like that. But recycling is exactly not so good example. That is like, see the human beings and the animals that put in the fair, it's become soil, right? Soil. Good for land and good corruption. That's the good way. So,
like fertilizer.
What to call? Fertilizer.
Things grow really well.
Right. So without that, you know, usually the field didn't get the good crops. You know, right now they put a lot of chemicals. So if you really want organic food, if you don't want to put any chemical there, right, then you must use that. So then that's also become transformed to the, you know, good food, right? Nutrition food. So same like that, you know, anger will not have the power to disturb, means like then this all the like garbage, landscape or that, then it's become transformed. Disturbed or the mind of one does not grasp at the emotion or follow after it. One recognizes that whatever emotion, whatever thought or concepts that appears in the mind is empty of inherent nature. So then usually any emotion, whatever comes, thoughts or emotion. So we have to know that. So then you know that and look to the mind, and then all the thoughts are naturally emptiness, empty of inherent nature. They don't have any essence. That it is not actually different from the essence of the mind itself. Means then, I think this also thoughts, emotion also dissolve to the mind, right? Yes? Okay, so they're not different from the mind. So this also, you know, analytical meditation talk about mind, thoughts, emotion, like mind, thoughts is the same or different? What are you going to say? Difference? Same? So both are incorrect answer, okay? You say same, also incorrect. You say different, also incorrect. The reason is like emotion mind is different. Then, so in this table has emotion because it's no mind, right? No mind, no emotion there. You cannot say it's different. Also, like corpse, right? Dead body, corpse have emotion or no? No emotion because there's no mind there, right? So that reason is mind, emotion. You cannot say different, and you cannot say emotion and mind are same. The reason is mind, emotion simultaneously together, comes. If the same, they cannot be together. Like same means like same together is like it's different, not same. Yes or no? When we have a mind, we have a thoughts, emotions together, right? So that means like of course the mind, emotion, like mind comes first, then emotion, then mind, emotion, not like that, yeah. When we have a mind, always there, but emotions comes goes. So when you have mind, that time has emotions together. So that means they are not same, because it's simultaneously separate there together. Same time separate there. So now what happening is cannot be different, cannot be same. The meaning is these thoughts and emotions investigate, you cannot find separate and cannot find the same. Because it's emptiness, empty. No exist. No exist, it is emptiness. If the permanently, inherently exist, these thoughts and emotions, then must be separate from the mind, then we have to can find something, that's come from the source of something, right? But emotion and the thoughts, or its emptiness, interdependent, they are not independent. Emotion and thoughts, if they are independent, then without mind, they always comes, right, arise. But emotions is interdependent, they are not independent. Interdependent means emptiness. You investigate, use logic, cannot find anything, just going to emptiness. So that reason is here. In the mind is empty of inherently nature. So all the emotion thoughts come from mind, but it is empty. They not really independently exist. That's why empty of inherent nature. That it is not actually different from the essence of mind itself. So we cannot find different from the mind, emotions, and the thoughts. Awareness itself has the nature of emptiness. Just so, whatever appears in the mind, all of the concepts and afflictive emotions are also endowed with the empty nature. So whatever appears in the mind, all of the concepts and afflictive emotions are also endowed with the empty nature. So it's all going to subsumed, like become into the empty nature, right? They don't have any independently essence. Make sense or no? Okay, so actually here is already explanations come together, you know. Root text and explain, both are here. I cannot explain more than this. They themselves are not other than the empty nature, therefore there is nothing to grasp at whatsoever. It's emptiness, so that's why nothing to grasp into whatsoever. In the case, right? In the case, when there is no grasping, then there is no following after the thoughts and the emotions. So all this emotion, thoughts is come from grasping. No grasping to the object, no fixation to the object, the emotion and the thoughts are naturally dissolved. Then they arise from the empty ground of awareness, and they dissolve back into the empty ground of awareness, just like waves on the surface of the ocean. See, these waves come from ocean, yeah? But ocean and the waves the same or different? Ocean and waves same or different? Same? No, same. So, see, some say same, some say different, means not really same, not really different, right? So we cannot say the same because we can see separate, and we cannot say it's different. The reason is without ocean, no waves there, right? So that's why not separate and not same. And the ocean has many waves, but their waves are not any different than the ocean. The waves arise out of the ocean and are of the same nature of the ocean itself. They dissolve back into the ocean without disrupting the vast water of the ocean in any way. It's very good, yeah? Okay. The nature of the ocean never changes as a result of this arising and dissolution. So oceans go to the waves, it go back to the ocean. Never change, right? It's always it's water. You go back to it's already ocean. Comes is wave. Go back to dissolve to the ocean. So that's why never change as a result of this arising and dissolution. In the depths of the ocean, it is the same. It never changes as a result of the waves. So waves never change the ocean. The meaning is like we are like sometimes have strong emotions, sometimes we have no any emotion, we are calm and peace, but actually the reality, you know, the Buddha nature is never change. So sometimes we are reborn into the lower realms, extremely suffering, but we are sometimes reborn in the higher realms, lots temporary enjoyment, happiness. So this temporary happiness, enjoyment, lower realm sufferings never change the natural mind. It's always the same. Make sense? Yes. Okay, so natural mind, like no change, always the same. The same is the ocean. Also, like sometimes we say, oh, we practice a compassion, so mind is like we think is a change, but actually natural reality mind never change. The same is the sun, you know, sun today, raining, clouds, sun is a change or no? No change, this never changes. Sun is just same thing there, you know. If you fly to above the clouds, sun is shining. Same thing, you know, my nature is always there. The awareness and the mind, like how to call the awareness and the wisdom, you know, the actually pro-motor wisdom, pro-motor, right? Yeah, the wisdom is always same, no change, never lost. In the depths of the ocean, it is the same. It never changes as a result of the waves. So then you understand this. Sometimes we say, oh, he is so good person, he is a bad person. We only like selfish talking about it, yeah? So nature is never change, it's the same. We're not talking about the nature, you know, we usually seeing the surface, right? Surface, yeah. Nature is always the same, never change of the waves. In the same way, we have all of these waves of awareness that appear as thoughts and afflictive emotions. So then this, you know, this our mind nature comes, all these thoughts, emotions, same as like ocean come all these waves. When we understand the true nature of those thoughts and emotions, when we know their nature to be that of emptiness, then they cannot do any harm to the mind. True nature of these thoughts and emotions, when we know their nature to be that of emptiness, see, then they cannot do any harm to the mind. So this is the same as we talked this morning, yeah? So we stay in the natural mind, then no one can harm. She cannot do any harm to the mind. So usually, see, we sometimes we scared, nervous, especially for spirits, you know. Only sometimes we have feeling strongly. So that time is like mind is follow the emotions. No mind stay with nature. So if we can stay mind is nature, this all the thoughts, emotions, spirits are dissolved naturally, released. Then they cannot harm to anything. When we understand the true nature of those thoughts and emotions, when we know their nature to be that of emptiness, then they cannot do any harm to the mind. They cannot create any defilement to awareness itself. Okay, so this makes sense? It is really clear, yeah? Okay, therefore, the afflictive emotions and the discursive thoughts are purified. They are liberated in their own place. So now the liberated in their own place means we don't have to find any solution to purify it. So this meaning is like, you know, we have anger. So then try to find some solution. So that's also like good thing, but compared to this practicing, then that is also wrong. So here is the own place means when it's anger arises, we cannot look some solution like, oh, meditate compassion or something, right? Meditate love. These are only temporary solutions. But anger cannot transform to the wisdom. So anger is going to transform to the wisdom, then we cannot look any solution. The look to the anger is naturally, dissolved and naturally transformed. See, the emotion is transformed to positive. So that's why they call liberated in their own place. Once we know their true nature, then there cannot be any sting to awareness itself. Sting to awareness itself. So in this case, what we are referring to is that this discursive thought and afflictive emotions are liberated as wisdom, as the wisdom of intrinsic awareness. So these 5 poisons transform to the 5 wisdoms. So that's why that's called the transforming means. What caused this to occur, right? Occur is simply recognition of their essence. Then the essence is understood when it is directly experienced. And there is no grasping or no following after the discursive thoughts and afflictive emotions, and we abide within the recognition of the essence without following or grasping after them. Then only emotion, thoughts, or comes, never disturbing, So it comes naturally purified, naturally liberated. So this morning I told we dive on the way. So you dive your focus, you don't focus other cars. Many cars, 100 cars comes other side, is no any disturb them, right? So it just comes, it's seeing that, but it's all is gone. Same like that way. And so that is the emotion, thoughts are never any going to make problems. Even that comes, but then no any make difficulty and problem. It's just naturally released. So this is the Dzogchen talk about the thief go to empty house. Thief go to empty house, can't get anything, cannot lost anything. So any thoughts, emotion comes, they're never going to lose anything, like not going to harm anything, This is just there, no any problems create. So same like that. And we abide within the recognition. So that's the important is we have to recognition of the first thoughts, emotion. Then also recognition of the essence without following or grasping after them. If we don't recognize, then mind follow the very small tiny thoughts first, grasping to that. Then that small thoughts take to maybe thinking about some little bit, some small, very small tiny thoughts take to bigger thoughts. Then they take to many more thoughts, then cultivate the thoughts, emotion, right? So the problem is we not recognize. If we recognize, then thoughts comes, have to live to naturally. Not finding any solution, recognize, then you don't try to push away, try to not stop, no any try, if you try to push away, there also problem. If you accept, of course, it's a problem, then you follow the thoughts. So that's why we not finding any solution, not try to go away the thoughts, and no rejecting thoughts, no accepting thoughts. These thoughts and emotions are transformed into wisdom. They is naturally transformed. They are liberated as pro-modal wisdom or pristine awareness. So this is the called Buddha nature. Sometimes we call consciousness and Buddha nature, two difference, right? Actually it's the same, but consciousness means like you grasp into the object, subject object, then it's called consciousness. No any holding object, look to the reality, absolute, that's called Buddha nature. Do you understand? So like called of conceptual thoughts, conceptual, right? Then called consciousness. No any object there, look to the subject, nature of the subject, that is called Buddha nature. That nature is provide all sentient beings. All sentient beings has that nature. So that nature is like emotions never can removed. The nature is never change, means like always same nature. Never change means like positive cannot change, negative cannot change. Cannot like this morning have some words like staying that, standing. So like kind of like something, stuck that. Tainted, yeah, cannot tainted anything. Tainted, exactly I wanted that. Cannot tainted. Emotion cannot tainted that nature. That's why they called the permanent. But actually permanent, not the impermanent and the permanent. The permanent meaning is cannot be tainted. It is not physical form, it is empty, but it cannot tainted, any object cannot change, so always same there. So that's why I call absolute truth, or sometimes they say permanent. Permanent also, usually we think about no changeable, right? No changeable physical thing, but not like that. It's always there. That's the reason called permanent. Example in this, how to call this, what this projecting to the lights. This lights. This light is no physical form, right? Yeah, so I cannot hold this, yeah? So what are you going to say? This is empty or? So I cannot grab this, right? That's why I call empty. Empty is we can see it clearly. So then I cannot cut. If I use a knife, I cannot cut this. That's why I call actually called permanent, but permanent is a different permanent. Like sometimes we say, how to call the damning, or right, damning, or the expensive one, Damning. Damning is like called permanent kind of. And this type of damning, yeah. So that's the relative truth. In this type of is strongest one is damning. And so that is called permanent. We think it's permanent, more permanent, yeah. But also that is the physical form. Mind is like not like that. The mind is not physical, but not same as the what is called damning. So damning is also have some solutions to change. You know how to change the damning? Cut the damning, yeah. Another diamond can cut, yeah. But diamond is also can make molded to the water. You know? Do you know that? The lake can make the lake cool. Yeah.
Can make it murky?
Melted diamond? Melted diamond? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
In the right condition, sure.
So they all have solutions.
It's conditioned.
The medicine doctors, you know, in Tibet, they said the sheep hong, you know, sheep, right? Sheep hong, and boiling, put in the boiling water. Sheep hong and the damning put together, boiling many days, and the damning is become soft and soft. Please, I'm going to look for you sheep horns. so see, you know, all the object is like usually we talk about permanent, but they are relatively permanent, but they are all has solutions, right? Conditions change. So this mind permanent is like not like that way permanent. It is emptiness. But it's always there. And you use logic, investigate, you cannot find, you cannot, you know, like destroyed. But it's empty, it's always there. So that's why they call sometimes permanent, but permanent is not same as usually we think it's like indestructible something, you know, physical form, not like that. Physical form always like, you know, nothing is really permanent, physical things. Always has something solution there to change. So the mind nature is you usually like investigate and log that we cannot find. We cannot hold that, right? We cannot hold that. Do you understand what I'm talking? So same is like this stream, you know, the lake stream, lake beams is I cannot hold, I cannot cut, but I seeing this clearly. I use some weapons, cannot destroy it, but it's empty. Empty is clearly there. So mind is the same like that. That's why I call permanent. The permanent is not physical like something permanent, you know. Make sense or no? So that's why very hard to recognize. Physical things we can easy to found, you know, find, yeah, recognize. So mind, you know, mind you investigate and use logic because it's cannot any located your whole body. Any place you cannot find that. So it's called emptiness. Buddha said, thousand Buddhas never find the mind. Means like never find physical anything. You investigate, you cannot show on something, you know. Okay, this is mind, like no one can show that. No one can find. But mind is like samsara and nirvana is always come from the mind. See, this projector is, this all words is come from this lake stream, you know. But lake stream is cannot really hold and cannot show anything, yeah. So that's why we have to know. Then that's called awareness, means like clearly and it's empty and recognize that and state that present moment is called present awareness. So you state that moment, then you stay in the nature. Usually mind is always past or future, not the present moment. Right? We always think about mostly is go to past or future, not the present moment. So liberation and promoter wisdom are synonymous. Synonymous. So hard to read, this is synonymous. They are the something because same thing because liberation itself is wisdom. Then this occurs, it is said to be like entering into an island of gold. If you arrive at a golden island, then everything there is gold. There is no ordinary earth or stones to be found there. So same thing, you then one that you all emotion thoughts transform to the wisdom, then cannot find any thoughts and emotion like it's everything is become wisdom. Means everything is like transforming, or any thoughts, whatever comes, never take to the negativity. It's all transformed to the positivity. There is no ordinary in or stone to be found there. Similarly, when one recognizes the empty essence, then there is nothing but wisdom. Everything is become transformed to the wisdom. So this meaning is thoughts are still arise, but thoughts is always transformed to the wisdom. See, this morning I talked, firewood is put in the fire, Like fire is not so good, then put firewood, it's become smoke, right? So that means like we emotions can not yet transform to the wisdom. So you put more firewood, then become more smoke, right? See, fire is strong, then all firewood is like just going to make bigger fire and a bigger fire. Same thing, like any thoughts, emotions, all is go to the empty. So that means become all is going to the wisdom. There's no potential for defilements or obscuration because understand the empty essence liberated everything. Everything simply becomes the nature of wisdom, meaning that there is no longer any trace of the conceptual mind, of discursive thoughts, or of afflictive emotions. So all is whatever comes is transformed to the wisdom. So wisdom is, we understand, right? It's empty and awareness. So recognize the nature. That
I have one question from life training. We asked which Tibetan word is being translated as awareness. How do you say it?
Awareness? Tenshi. Tenshi. Yeah, tenshi. Tenshi. I don't know spell. Spelling, I can tell you Tibetan. Yes. Who has? Yes, sir.
Suppose, this is the suppose all social beings disappear. That nature mind
You mean all the sentient beings go away?
Yeah.
So lots of snows here, right? Couple of days ago, lots of snows. All is white color in the Washington this area. So they all is become very gross, very dissolved. They dissolve to where? Dissolve to the water, right? So then they dissolve to the natural state. So all is gone. See, there's so many eyes ice blocks. They always one day dissolve to go to where water. There's no more ice. So they always liberated, every beings. Yeah.
Emptiness still there, right?
Empty nature is like nature is of course this ice block is moved to water. The water is essence of the ice, right? So it's there means like that is just an example, but not really physical. Can showing something like empty nature. Empty means like not really nothing physical. Yeah, it's luminous means like, see this light stream is, luminosity is clear, is empty, yeah? This is inseparable called luminosity.
It's inseparable.
Yeah. Awareness and emptiness inseparable. Awareness and emptiness is inseparable. So that's called the luminosity. It's called wisdom also. Luminosity is wisdom.
Luminosity and wisdom.
Yeah. Usually we meditate vipassana called seeing beyond, right? What is seeing means? You meditate like mind stay empty. You seeing that kind of like another awareness, seeing that empty is clearly recognized. So that seeing is empty are inseparable. It's called luminosity. So no, this teaching is directly talking about that. Yeah. But then you use logic investigation, really we cannot make separate, show something. Grasping or the incorrect perception that perceive them to be truly existing does not taint them. So this mind cannot taint them, right? Grasping cannot taint the mind. Yes, sir. Therefore, it is not discursive thoughts or conceptual thought that cause karma. It is not discursive thought. It is not discursive thought or conceptual thought that causes karma or that become an accumulation of karma. So what is this one? It is not discursive thought or conceptual thought that causes karma. What is this meaning?
That causes
Next slide.
that discursive thought or conceptual thought does not cause karma.
Or does not cause karma. Yeah, because it's dissolved to empty. They cannot create the karma. Yeah. Cannot cause karma, yes.
So is it action that causes karma?
No, like no fixation to object, mind. Huh? No fixation. Then any thoughts or conceptual cannot create the karma, right? See, here is so we have to log this one. That doesn't mean that discursive thought and afflictive emotions don't arise. That they arise still, yeah?
Right.
Yeah, but that grasping or the incorrect perception that receives them to be truly existing does not taint them. Okay, so therefore it is not discursive thought or conceptual thought that causes karma or that becomes accumulation of karma. Okay, and so in that way, There is no karma creating discursive thoughts to be found at all. Because the empty essence is seeing. Because the empty essence is seeing, there is no fixation. Yeah, no fixation. Then cannot create a karma. Okay. For as long as the empty essence is seeing, then there is no fixation, then there is no karma created. Therefore, thoughts are liberated. All thoughts, whatever arise in the mind, become the nature of wisdom. So then any thoughts comes is become wisdom. No fixation on the thoughts. What is going on?
I was saying, if you murder somebody without an unfixated mind, does that mean you don't get any karma?
Murder of someone?
If you kill somebody,
Yes.
but you're not fixated on killing them, you just kill them. It just happens. And there's no karma?
Without fixation, okay. Without fixation, how to?
This happens in court all the time, right? Where people arrive.
Okay, I tell you, without fixation, how to killing?
What?
How you can going to kill the without fixation?
How can you kill with, I don't know this. Well, that's
See, no possible, right?
a good question. Can you do that?
Right, I mean, if it's accidental versus an intentional act.
Well, that's
Yeah, but your mind has a thoughts like killing or no killing, so our mind is no like kind of that realization, you know. We don't have that realization, then killing is always a killing.
Yeah, but you could hit someone in a car and they could die.
Yeah, but then you have a fixation in your mind. Even you know seeing that you care that, but you don't have this kind of realization. You don't have realization. Like when you have realized, then killing is not exist. See. Okay, so Telopa, when you see the Naropa, see he looking for Telopa, right? In these two, in the second two pictures, not the first blue one. The second, like one is these two, so Telopa and Naropa. Naropa, he is the Nalanda University teacher. He is the like East gatekeeper. Gatekeeper means like you must be like top philosopher. So that time it's all directions like have to stay. The top philosophers have to stay each different directions, because you have to stay that anyone come that direction. You have to debating, and you have to like subdue them. Teaching and debating, right? So that time, no Buddhism and the Buddhist always religions is like not physically fighting, they're fighting for knowledge. So debating. So you lose that, they already come into your university, So that's why you have to, like same is like, armies, right? No stay in the protected country, right? Same thing, top philosophers have to stay 4 directions. So he is the East gatekeeper. Then he has Vajrayogini prophesies him. And you have to look for teacher Naropa. So then he give up his possession and he looking for Telopa everywhere. So he looked many places, but Telopa is always there because he is Buddha, Same is like Dharmakaya. It's like right away you can be there, like same is a broadcast like television, yeah? Your mind is like connected to there. The Buddha is there through the devotion. See, we have electricity, all these wires, all this, everything, conditions comes, then television comes, right? You can see television, same thing, you can broadcast there, yeah? Same thing, your devotion and your all this like, how to say, the conditions arise, Buddha is always there, able to there, But Telopa, he didn't show him physically. Naropa, he looking for everywhere in India. Then one time, somebody pointed, he asked like, where is Telopa, where is Telopa? He lost like crazy, he going to ask everyone, do you know Telopa, do you know Telopa? Then somebody told him, Telopa is this people, that guy. And he's fishing, he caught the fish and kill the fish, eat the fish. So Naropa see that and went to look what he does, he killing the fish and eating the fish, yeah? So then Naropa, he lose devotion. So he think this is the wrong guy. So Telopa told him, son, don't lose devotion. He knows, And he told Naropa, absolute truth, killing is not exist. He did like this, all fish is alive. So that's called like, who has realization, then of course no killing there. So if you not realize that is with mistake care, but the less karma, but there's also have a killing there, our perception is killing. Make sense?
Yeah, so to not have a fixated mind,
yeah.
you realize.
Yeah, not realize that. Yeah. They otherwise like, oh, we cannot see this object with close eye. Oh, I cannot see any object. I'm liberated. so like that kind, Yeah. Okay, so absolutely the reason is no subject, no object, no action there. So no anything cared object there, no action, no subject object. Everything is emptiness. Telopa has that realizations. So then absolutely all beings also actually not exist. It's emptiness. How can going to care? Killing is not exist. Although whatever arises in the mind becomes the nature of wisdom. So then you have that realization that everything is a wisdom. Yeah. This is the second statement. Now we're going to third one, the third instruction. So this is talk about the luminosity also. Third statement. So now we subject, object, talked about, yeah. So this is the third one. The next there is the third Pith instruction regarding the way to meditate or to practice the clear light. So no grasping to object and no fixation to the object, and also we emotion everything is we recognize no essence as emptiness. So then we meditate, practice clear light means then also not only empty. Empty is clear, clear is empty light, inseparable. So that's why Buddha said, seeing form is empty, empty is form. So form is no other than emptiness, emptiness is no other than form. This Pith instruction is regarding the abiding of the mind itself. The true abode of awareness. Abode of awareness. So now the second statement, and this is a little bit different, right? Second statement is like mind, this emotion, thoughts all come from the mind. So no emotion, mind is already talk about the emptiness, especially emotion and the thoughts all have transformed to the wisdom, right? So this one talking about more natural mind. The true abode of awareness, the first Pith instruction, so this is going back to first one, short, giving like short information again. Is with regarding to the author object or the outwardly. Apprehended objects and appearances, if one does not grasp at appearance, then the appearances are purified. So this is the same as the first statement. The second Pith instruction regards the purification of the mind itself by overcoming the fixation to that which is inwardly apprehended in the mind, the discursive thoughts and the afflictive emotions. So the second statement talks about mind, emotion, thoughts. The third Pith instruction is for during the time of practice itself. So now really you will recognize object and the subject. Now is going to practice, yeah. The practice, and then it regards the abiding of awareness itself, establish the faultless, stingless essence as the true abiding of awareness, the true nature of the mind itself. So what is this? Do you understand? Everyone okay? It regards the abiding of awareness itself, means like you stay in that meditation, yeah? Okay, then establish the faultless, stainless. Faultless means nothing wrong there, right? And stainless means no any obscurations. So see, all its clouds is go away, and the sun is then shines. Same thing, like it's all is like nature. No any thoughts, emotions, no grasping to object. It's true nature mind, called true nature of mind. The essence is the essence as the true abiding of awareness. So that's the Buddha nature, the true nature of the mind itself. See, the sun is like all the clouds go away, is shining. Mind has the nature of clarity or luminosity. So the mind nature of clarity or luminosity, emptiness both, you know. Clear, empty, inseparable is called luminosity, actually, I think like that. But it's very hard to describe, because this, the Buddha said, cannot described, you know, beyond words, beyond expression, right? So very hard to give something, like show something. See, Telopa, Naropa, you know the story also. Telopa gave him Naropa some teachings, but not really many teachings, only giving lots, punish. So then he hit the shoes, his head. So I cannot show you anything. You have to recognize yourself. So then he comes, okay, that's it. You know. So it's only the like example, you know. Example like show that, but example also cannot really describe the natural mind. So you're going to, if you study Buddhist philosophy, Mayaminka school, then the Chandrakirti, Nagarjuna, they always talk about nature, absolute truth is cannot show for, you know, someone. Only can example, you know, describe, like only the just examples. Same is like finger pointing to the moon. So then some no sharp students, like they not look to the moon, they look to the finger. So that means look to the words, not really look to the reality meaning. So that means like this only like showing, like finger showing to the moon, but this word is the same as that just looking to the top of the finger. its meaning is like very hard to throw, you know. That's why it's beyond the words, beyond the expression, right? So recognize our own experience. So through the meditation. So then sometimes empty means like nothing or empty. Clear means same as the sun. Not like that, you know. It's kind of hard to describe. So cannot attach to the words. If you attach to the words, you know, look to the moon and looking to the finger, you know. Same like that. So therefore, it is the union of clarity and emptiness. So now what we have to know, union of clarity and emptiness means all these forms, what we're seeing, is clearly we can see, but no any essence inherently exist. Same thing, mind is clearly recognize all this object, but mind is empty. No any what to say, like kind of a object, like kind of physical thing there. No inherently exist. It's already like free from the thoughts, free from the lot of things, yeah, everything free from, you know, hard to describe, but anyway. And emptiness. First, my English also cannot describe because not enough. And it's also, even Tibetan words also not enough to describe this. Clarity or luminosity manifests as appearance. So it appears, yet the appearances are empty in essence. So there is the no-door union of clarity and emptiness. These are the natural characteristics of intrinsic awareness. So even though there is the display of awareness as luminosity, it is empty of any inherent nature. This is what is maintained in practice. So meditation means then we have to maintain the, you know, awareness. So no grasping to object, no fixation to object. Then also any emotion, thoughts have to recognize and naturally liberated this emotion and the thoughts, and mind stay awareness and present moment. So that's called wisdom, yeah. So then that is maintained. It's called practice. By maintaining, this is in meditation, see, by maintaining, this is the meditation. Meditation means maintaining the awareness. Through practicing stabilization of the recognition of the inherent abiding of awareness itself. Then there are the temporary expresses of bliss, clarity and non-thought, yeah? Temporary experiences of bliss means, so now when we meditate in this mind, like, you know, maintaining this awareness, you maintain awareness, you meditate, then comes like bliss. The bliss is also temporary, you know, that is not my nature. Bliss is also a good thing, but if you attach to that, then its meditation is wrong. Wrong means like you cannot through the doubt, yeah, cannot through the mind, cannot free from all this attachment. So when you are in this kind of state, then we cannot attach to positivity and negativity. Both is thoughts. positive also thought, negative also thoughts. So we have to free from all the thoughts, means positive thoughts and negative thoughts. When you are in this meditation state, you think, oh, I'm going to do meditative compassion, I'm going to do generosity, something. That's also thoughts become. That is like when we are post-meditation, then you have to do that accumulate, right? Accumulate merit. So during the post-meditation, not in the meditation. In the meditation, these positive thoughts also is thoughts. So it is also then become like, attachment, experience of bliss, clarity and non-thought. So then this bliss is also meditators have some very enjoyment, something. And the peace and enjoyment, then that thing is like have realized something, attached to that bliss. So then it's become, meditation cannot be free from all this liberation. It's become stuck. So also this bliss is, if you have expectation to bliss when you meditate, then bliss also never ever arise or coming. Expectations block the this quality, meditation qualities. So that's the reason, like, no any expectation to like goal in the meditation. Of course, post meditation you have that, is okay. Otherwise you cannot do meditate. Do you understand, right? Post meditation, in the meditation. Post meditation is like sometimes we not in the like meditating, yeah. So usually other all the actions all called post meditation. Post meditation, after meditation. In the meditation, then you have to free from all these thoughts. Post meditation, you can have thoughts. You have more positive thoughts. That is all create good karma, So then there are the temporary experience of bliss, clarity and non-thought. So clarity also, then that's also the meditation's experience, clarity. So meditator also has sometimes clarity is like bright lights like this way, Everything is bright, like 100 suns shines, so clearly something going on. That also meditation's experience, but cannot attach to that too. Then thought, when there is not grasping at these three temporary experiences, then it becomes the completely perfected meditation. So three is like, we taught bliss, we taught clarity, another is emptiness. So empty is like, when you meditate, like kind of everything is empty. That also feeling is arise. So that fear also meditation's experience. So we have to free from this all three experience. Then it becomes completely perfected meditation. If there is grasping, then one falls into error or fault. In this way, all phenomena are no other than the display of the promoter, wisdom, or pristine awareness. One must recognize this pristine awareness for oneself. One must recognize one's own true face, one's own true awareness, If one meditates, recognize one's own true nature, then there's utterly, right? Utterly free of these designations, based on the mind of duality. Concepts such as a good or bad birth, inferior or superior or wisdom, the greater weaker and the lesser weaker, young or old, clear faculties or not so clear faculties, all of these have no basis. They lack any substantial nature. So this is really good, yeah?
Yeah.
So that's all is equal. See, then there's the clarity of it. So this, like, it's in the Dzogchen means no any like dualistic, right? Dualistic thoughts. It's all is become bring to one. So what it means designation means identifications based on the mind of duality. Yeah? That is all the duality. Yeah. See, judgments. So no, samsara is all judgments. Yeah. So absolute truth is like unjudgment. Like that.
Like non-judgment.
Non-judgment. Okay, non-judgment. And the concepts such as good or bad. So then there is like absolute truth that don't have a bad or good, That's also delusion. It's no duality, right? Dualistic thoughts. So birth, inferior or superior wisdom. Then, of course, we talk about the great waker and the lesser waker. That's also it's become thoughts. And dualistic thoughts, young or old, clear faculties or not so clear faculties, all of these have no basis. They don't have any basis. They lack any substantial nature. So then it's no any, like we cannot say my religion is good, your religion is bad, right? So then they cannot have any like caste, right? Caste system. It's talking about reality, no female and no man, no animals, like something, they always become same. No door, called no door. Like any substantial nature. See we have snow, ice, so many different kind of ice. They all go to the water. Then you cannot talk about some ice is like being 100 years, some ice is like 50 years, some is like 10 years, some is 1 year, like that. Cannot any judgment, right? It's all ice, it's become merged to the water. Like that, yeah? Make sense? So we have a like conceptual thoughts or dualistic thoughts. Then we have all these things. So that's called dualistic thoughts, yeah? So then become no draw meaning is this all is become same, no difference. So that's the Vajrayana teaching, like Vajra Yogini. Usually we have a peg head, right? Peg. Yeah, called the soul or soul. So that's the symbolized meaning is for this. Sometimes we talk about the cigarette mantrayana means. So you don't know the meaning of the symbolized meaning, then that's why you cannot like show for publicly. You have to know the first meaning. Do you understand what I'm talking? Like example, Vajra Yogini has a sword, right? Sword like pig has. The pig is the worst animal. Worst animal. Worst animal. Yeah, especially I don't know in United States, but in Tibet, a pig is nobody going to eat. And of course, who know the pig is they vomit easily. Yeah, the dirty. The meaning is dirty. When I eat the first pork, it's couple days like cannot eat food. It's throw up again, because the remember the pig. He go to eat all this dirty stuff. So in Tibet, like no, this time is a change, right? Long time ago. Like even I say like when I eat pork first, it's a couple of days I cannot eat food. It's all throw away. Many people like that. The reason is that pig is so dirty, bad. Like all go into the like garbage, dirty area. They eat that everything, right? So no.
It spoils very easily because of that.
It's cultural. But we understand you.
But I don't know, in here is a pig is how to saying that, Yeah, the pigs eat humus, garbage, and all the bad things. We think is that so bad, yeah? So they eat that, and then no one wanted to eat pork. So it's dirty animal, yeah, very dirty. So then Vajra Yogini is the wisdom, the highest Yadam deity. So the Yadam deity has pig heads, and the second head is a pig, Then what people think is like in Tibetan culture things is very bad, yeah, because pig is the perception is bad, yeah. But Vajra Yogini has heads of that. So then, what the reason is, the pork is the good symbolized meaning for non-dualistic. Because pig didn't recognize killing, clean, and dirty. But pig is ignorance, but actually, he don't recognize that, right? So that symbol, that not showing the pig is like wisdom to recognize that. But the symbolized meaning is absolute truth and no draw. That means like that is that state, absolute true natural state. They don't have dualistic thoughts. No dualistic means like no good and bad, clean or unclean. Everything is like we already told, is going to the wisdom. So that reason, yeah. So then this main point is like Vajrayana means laws symbolize meanings, So pig is bad, but its symbolized is no door. No door, yeah. And then you see the laws of tankas, and when you see these pictures, tankas like wrath for deities, union of the like Yav and the Yom, and laws, this kind of different object, right? So their symbolized meaning is absolute truth. These things not exist. And relative truth, our perception we think is bad. But absolute truth, they are not exist. These things no really exist inherently. This is all is our projection. Make sense? Okay, so that's why we have to know the symbolized meaning. And they lack any substantial nature. When abiding within the view that realizes the true essence, these all are understood to be of one single nature. Within the view that realizes the true essence, these all are understood to be of one single nature. So then all is one nature. Thousand Buddhas all are one nature. All sentient beings has all as one nature. Then have not many different natures. That means one absolute truth only. So that's why in Buddhism has 4 different schools. 4 different schools: Satandrika, Vibhashika, Mind School, and Mayamika. So these first 3 is that didn't get absolute true nature. They said they are in absolute true nature. But Mayamika said they are only temporary state still. So that they don't have like many absolute natures, only one nature. So other philosophy, other schools, only temporary state. Okay, so that's we don't go to philosophy. Dzogchen not going to philosophy. All is understood to be of this very essence. Okay, therefore those designations based on duality no longer apply. And so Guru Rinpoche said, "Old lady, if you meditate like this, you will become a Buddha." No easy? So we want to take a break. What time is? 3:15. So we take break or no need break? No? Okay, so mostly is no break. Yeah, stay more. No need, I'm okay. Okay, so now if anyone sleepy, push this finger into the air. Close these 2 fingers, close these 2 fingers, close the eye. Push very strongly, okay? Cannot see any object and cannot hear any sound. So now we have to chant Om syllables, then you wake up. Push very strongly, close the eye. The pointing fingers put into the forehead. Take right away, like take out. When you finish the song, boom. No more break. That's the break, okay? One more. So you can these 2 fingers, right? And cover the eye. This pointing finger is put in the forehead, and the 2 thumbs put into the ears, and then we say, "Oh, it's much ever you can make the sound." And then when you finish, you have to take out all the everything, okay? See, so no thoughts. All is dispelled. So that's when you have a sleepy mind, and sometimes when you want to meditate, then lots of thoughts arise. So you have to do that. So the only temporary solution, okay? Yeah, okay, so now it's already, if you meditate like this, you will become a Buddha. Already, if you meditate like this, you have no need for fear at the time of death. So then, because she do meditation this way, she is free from death. So that's why no need to fear of the death. See, usually we have fear, right? Fears. Where does the fears come from? Please give me answer. Where does the fears come from? Huh? Fixating mind, grasping, actually grasping, yeah? So this order is fear is come from grasping. Long as we have I, then all this spirit is going to harm me, right? And like you are, sometimes we are sleeping and it comes arise, then it's fears arise together. So this meditation become no grasping, then no I to fixation to that. So that's the reason it's free from death, free from suffering from death, free from the death. Then of course all suffering is free from that, right? Death is the mostly, how to say, the biggest suffering, biggest fear. So we are free from that, then other fear is all is gone. So you will not have any fears, then no fear because no grasping. If you meditate like this, there is nothing better that you could do with this life. So we cannot do anything better than this. It's other, or then this is going back to like, we have to go into the Dharma practicing, going back to the four thoughts, talk about, we cannot have anything better that you could do with this life, means only Dharma practicing is the best thing to do. Other worldly activity, everything is become useless. That's the reason is only the meditation is the best one. The reason is other worldly, right? Activities, everything is become useless when we die. So when we die, the mind is not attached, grasping to any object, subject. It's become free from suffering and liberation. So when yogis die is liberation, Yogis' death is liberation. They're called liberation, enlightenment. Death is enlightened. So means when we die, the mind is not attached to any subject, object. It's become liberation. So that's where this come from. Only come from meditate, right? Nothing better that you could do with this life. So then, when we die, is we do what did everything is become useless, worldly activities. So when we born, where we born, right? It's corrected like that way. When were we born? When we were born, until now, what you did show me. You cannot show anything because it's already past. It's emptiness. So nothing done, So this all is called useless. The reason it's useless means when we die, that time we cannot take anything with us. So that's called useless. So when Telopa told Naropa, And Telopa said, you are intelligent students, and you doing your did hardship is useful. He said, useful. The Telopa, he give 24 punish for Naropa, right? Maybe you know the story, I don't know. That he gave 24 punishment. Naropa is really get lots of hardship and difficulties through from him. But then Telopa told him, you did is useful. So other worldly activities useless. So the meaning is Naropa also, he knows his teacher is the same as Buddha. So whatever he says, he follow that. He giving like suggestion, he says something, doesn't matter good or bad, he just immediately did that everything. Actually Naropa, Telopa give him Naropa hardship, it looks like no dharma, He giving lots, ask him to do better things. But Naropa is immediately he just jumped and doing, whatever Telopa says. So then the Naropa, why he did that? Because he also intelligent students. He knows what he doing, everything is useful, not useless. So all the hardships. Then Telopa told him, your hardship is useful. Other all the worldly beings, hardship is useless. So that means when we die, it's nothing to take with us. So then that's why if you meditate like this, there is nothing better that you could do with this life. Then of course like we do this life, something is a future life is all is good position, right? How to say, future life is already protected. Maybe we bought the good insurance. Yeah. Okay, so if you want to buy good insurance, wanted to use like many lifetimes, meditation is the good insurance, right? Good insurance. There's no greater meaning that you could possibly give to this life that surpasses this. So no, this is the instruction Pema Sambhava giving to this old woman. And remember that your life is impermanent, and there is no telling when you will die. That's true, yeah? So death is like uncertainty. We don't know when we're going to die. No one has certainty. Everything is uncertainty. So you should make effort only in this Pith instruction that I have talked to you. So you should only make effort in this life, effort in this. So Pema Sambhava also give her and teach impermanent, and also like he giving effort. Effort is come from the impermanent meditation. So effort, impermanent is introduced to kind of laziness, and then what they call many different words is there. I forget to lazy and something you want to do tomorrow. Procrastination. Put in the hold, yeah. So that's kind of like it all has problems. So also usually meditation and the Dharma practice is not the first priority. Mostly people's first priority is of course the family and the job. Priority. Priority. And I know these words, but no, it's today I talk lots, so that's why it's gone.
You got that very well.
See, the mostly, the not first priority. Priority. See? So then that's why, you know, it's like we have to put first priority for meditation. Okay, I'm not going to say again that, okay? You have to know.
You have to make it most important.
Yeah, you have to make most important. You should only make effort in this. So then to strive in the activities of this world for your children or husband and so forth. Even if you were to engage in all of these great worldly activities for thousands of years. This is true or no? Yeah. What means strive with the activity?
Persevere, to work hard.
Work very hard in the activity of this world, right? For your children, of course, or husband, and so forth. Even if you were to engage in all of this great worldly activity for thousands of years, just a single moment of recognize the true nature of mind is of far greater meaning than all of the countless worldly activity that one could accomplish. So very powerful, right? Yeah. See, maybe we today, you know, study, practicing this meditation, so it's more powerful than maybe more than come back again. See, single moment is going to the meditation. So here says you have to do single moment. Just a single moment of recognize the true nature of mind. It is of far greater meaning than all of the countless worldly activity that one could accomplish. So we do the like single moment meditation. So that also like break the samsaric habits. So you already make positive connection there. So that's why, you know, very strong. Even just a moment of meditating on the true nature of mind is extremely vast and profound in meaning. However much you devote to worldly activities in this life, you will never finish them. Who can finish them, right? No one finish them, anything. Long as we have this body and we never finish anything. Every day is coming back, same thing again and again, right? See, when we wake up, then we have to take, what do we have to do? We have to brush our teeth, showers, breakfast, and then take kids to our school or pick up them and like go back to same again. Next day is the same again, like whole It's all like that, cyclic existence. See, then the never done, never finish. However much you devoted to worldly activities in this life, you will never finish them. There will never be an end to worldly activities. No matter how much you strive to finish your worldly activities, there is always something that needs attending to. So that's like, even also same is like one day work, it's actually never done, right? Then we just go to sleep and the next day come back again, continue and continue. Actually never going to finish and done. It is true, yeah? So this is the impermanent meditation. So as long as you try to finish all your worldly activities, there is never any end to those activities. Continuing, he says, give up all worldly activity and simply focus on these Pith instructions of mind. If you practice according to these Pith instructions for the rest of your life, then already you will have no fear at the time of death. So that, what is this? Is coming back, or maybe it's some part is like root text and more explanations, you know. So this is actually commentary. The title of these Pith instructions is the finger pointing instruction, because Guru Rinpoche taught them to the old lady while he was pointing his finger at her. Pointing, finger pointing. Like this, yeah?
Probably more conviction.
I think that's the reason, you know, some yogis when talk this, they talk always like this. Pointing finger. In this finger at her, as Guru Rinpoche gave this pointing out Pith instruction to the old lady, they practice them for the rest of her life, and through this she achieved liberation. She has become liberation. She attained great level of accomplishment. She became fully liberated and accomplished in one life. So also Yeshe Tsoja wrote these Pith instructions down, and so they are actually Pith instructions that come directly from the mouth of Guru Rinpoche himself. So Pema Sambhava taught these teachings, and then Yeshe Tsoja, she wrote down these teachings. And so it's Pema Sambhava's direct teaching from Pema Sambhava. Summary of the three instructions. It is very important to understand the three key points that are taught in these very concise Pith instructions. The first Pith instruction points out that whatever outwardly appearing objects they cannot bind the mind in and of themselves. Bind the mind in and of themselves. So this is the first one, yeah? So the meaning is the mind cannot grasping to object, yeah? No fixation to the object. You can see the object. So also like we can use the object, but not so attached to that object. That's the main point. See, the Vajrayana teaching means like you don't have to give up object. So you realize naturally giving up the object, you know. You cannot throw away the object. So sometimes we talk about impermanence, meditation, and forethoughts. Then some people right away get so strong renunciation, they give up everything, jobs, everything, go to retreat, and 1 week, 3 weeks, maybe 1 month after they come back, go back to in the worldly activity again. So that means like because the mind practicing is not yet there. So you give up object is become the effect your life. Become like same as the homeless people, right? They don't have a realized and no need homes. They need homes, but they don't have the homes. They become suffering, right? Realizer means you have to realize like some days, and then you can give up everything, no need. So they never affect anything. It's totally different, yeah? So also, see, long as you are no fixating to the object, you no grasping to the object, then you can use the object. It's always like offering to your body. You know, like call the body is like you can visualize the Yidam deity, Buddha, you know. Then you using, eating, everything become offering. So that's the hard to win, you know, very hard difficulty like that kind of thoughts, you know, realization. But it's long as you are not attached to, no grasping to the object you use for your body is become offering. Then you have that kind of realization. Then whatever you eat is become offering to the Buddha. And then doesn't matter like eating food is like meat or vegetarian or anything, you know. So become everything is offering. So then all is like usually we worldly like attachment, you know, something bad things, or you can use that it's offering. It's transformed to the positivity. Whatever or worldly appearing objects they cannot bend the mind in and of themselves. It is not actually the outer appearances that harm, but it is the mind that grasps and become attached to these appearances. See, object is not going to harm anything, right? But its problem is attached to, grasping to that object, then becomes problem. The mind that grasps at the outer objects is the source of harm. It is the fixation that is binding, not the appearance themselves. If there is no fixation on the outwardly appearing object, then the appearances are liberated. Outer appearances are self-liberated upon arise. In sum, the instruction is to abandon fixation and attachment to outwardly appearing objects. The second Pith instruction is regarding the mind that grasps at that which appears inwardly. When thoughts and emotions arise from the mind, one recognizes the empty essence or recognizes them as the inner expression of awareness itself. One does not grasp onto or fixate on them. They are spontaneously liberated in their own place. So this is the thoughts, emotions, anything, whatever arises, transformed to the wisdom. If they are liberated, then there is no karma that is accumulated. If there is no accumulation of karma, then that is a liberation. That is freedom from samsara. Then there is liberation. When the risings of mind are liberated, then they are understood to be what they are in their pure nature, which is spontaneously display of the two form kayas. So the true form kaya is a Sambona kaya and the Namana kaya, yeah? So this true form kaya is come from the Dharma kaya. So Dharma kaya is the same as the like president stay in the palace, right? Example, president stay in the White House, broadcast all over the world is like Namana kaya and the Sambona kaya. So these true kayas come from the Dharma kaya. This true form kaya is like broadcast. It's like same as the television, you know, showing for them, but not really. Its mean essence come from the Dharma kaya. It's clear. So three kayas sometimes we think it's a separate, like, oh, this Buddha is like Sambona kaya, this Buddha is Nirmana kaya, this Buddha is Dharma kaya. Sometimes people talk like that, but that is relative truth is okay. But absolute truth, really, this three kaya is not really separated. It's in same, you know. So, like, same is like this youth streaming, right? So we are here is a Dharma kaya, and somebody who watch this all youth streaming is like becomes this Nirmana kaya and the Sambona kaya, you know, like that. All that is in expression of mind is liberated as the nature of Dharma kaya, arising from the Dharma kaya. See, this true kaya is come from Dharma kaya, not separate from the Dharma kaya. Then also this true kaya, you know, Sambona kaya, Nirmana kaya, is appeared to the like who students, right? So they need conditions, causes many conditions. Then the Sambona kaya and the Nirmana kaya form bodies arise. If there are no conditions, cause the conditions not there, then these two kayas cannot be arise. Cannot arise because, like, if you don't have put in the water in the pot, cannot reflect your moon in there, right? Even moon is in the sky. If no water in there, so cannot reflect on there, yeah. So same thing, you know, like we don't have a devotion and this kind of and causes, conditions not there. Even Buddha is always there, but cannot benefit anything. Make sense or no? Okay, that's good thing. For me, not much makes sense, but you all say, okay, they're good. The third Pith instruction is that whatever experience arises during meditation are empty of inherent nature. So then this is the talk about experience arising during meditation are empty of inherent nature. Therefore, there is no fixation or attachment to the quality that arises in practice. Being without fixation and attachment, the meditation itself leads to Buddhahood. Okay, so tomorrow, right? We engage in the practice. We all be together during the practice of Guru Rinpoche. The point of this is as follows. So this is I think many years ago. So also maybe today we stop here. Right now we have the concept of ourselves or as ordinary beings. So we have the experience of ordinary beings. We experience our body, speech, and the mind as ordinary and defied because it is tainted by the activity of the 5 poisons, the 5 afflictive emotions. So now the body is experienced from the perspective of impure, ordinary beings. So this is the no is going to take to the practicing, meditate, yidam deity. So the transforming, we have our experience like this body is ordinary body, ordinary speech. So this is all causes of samsara. Samsara, causes of samsara. So now we ordinary body and transform to the yidam deity meditation, so called usually deity yoga practicing. Deity yoga practice is transforming. And see here, I think now we have right now we have the concept of ourselves as ordinary beings, right? So we have experience of ordinary beings. So this create all the samsaric habits. The samsaric habit has become strong and strong, thicker and thicker, yeah? So then we naturally take to the rebirth again and again. So that's the reason deity yoga practices change and transform to this ordinary perception. Ordinary perception is transformed to the yidam deity's perception. So that's called yidam deity practice. So then tomorrow is also Om Ahom Benzang Guru Pemas De Hom. Is the meaning of that explanation. So today is everybody okay, right? Yeah. So the Dzogchen, this 3 statement is finished there. That part section, So now tomorrow is the yidam deity yoga explanation of why we practice deity yoga. The reasons that we have to change this transform perceptions, and then also Om Ahom Benzang Guru Pemas De Hom. Okay. Any questions do you have? So now we have discussion time. Yes. Yes. Fourth kaya is actually this inseparable. This 3 kaya is called fourth kaya. You make 3, right? Then that becomes the same. It's called then they say fourth kaya. Name is Tibetan, I know, but English is so hard. Sanskrit.
You want to spell the
B as in boy.
Wow.
Oh,
B as in boy.
Okay.
B-H-A-V-I-K-A-Y. Swabha
Vipakaya. Shabha Vipakaya.
The conversion emanation. It's it all coming together.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's Drempa. Drempa. D-R-E-M-P-A. He said
Tenshi.
Tenshi. I looked it up. I couldn't figure it out.
So awareness, right? Awareness. Yeah, awareness is tenshi. Tenpa and tenshi is the same thing. Tenpa is like you actually a little bit different aspects. Tenpa means like you understand.
How would you spell
and tenshi means you awareness, you stay that, follow that, you know. Tenshi.
How would you spell it in Tibet?
Tenpa dan shi yin.
How would you spell it in Tibet?
Tin, tare da taku tina tin. Tin, tare da taku tina tin pa. So next time I take Tibetan class, okay? Yes, sir.
So, tenshi, you're saying is awareness. So, are you saying that that's synonymous with Ripa? And could you distinguish that from Kunshi?
King and the Rigpa and the Tenpa, they have a little bit different aspects. The King is like kind of a ground mind, you know, ground. The King is like can be like one ground, two fruition, right? Like ground is like one ground means nirvana, samsara is one ground. So kinja can be go to nirvana, or kinja can be samsara. So that is the ground, right? Rigpa means like awareness also too. So Rigpa is usually Dzogchen teaching use lots these words for Rigpa, but philosophy explain that they didn't use much Rigpa. They usually say natural mind or Buddha nature. So this is like just different words describe the natural mind, you know. And Rigpa means actually also awareness.
Could it mean clear light? I've seen it expressed as clear light.
Express clear light. Clear light is what do you mean, Tibetan or?
Rigpa is clear light.
Rigpa is not only the clear light. Clear light is the mind nature, so only one aspect. So mind nature is empty, clear, inseparable. So many different aspects there, right? The awareness is more like everything. Clear is like go to only one part of the mind nature. Yeah. Yes.
When we meditate, all the disturbance rise up. So we need to maintain awareness to face that disturbance. For how long?
For how long?
It goes away.
This disturbance is like when actually in the meditation, no disturbing there. If you fixation right to that, then it's disturbed. No fixation staying there, then it's no disturbed.
So we have to be aware of that. We are not
Not just like example, which kind you have like disturbing, like somebody going there, and you seeing there, but no focus. No focus. Mind is no pay attention that. See, like I told you, drive, you focus your driveway, but there's so many 100 cars coming, you no focus their cars, right? So their cars is like just always pass away from you. That is all liberating thoughts. And this distraction, everything is like just liberated. So if you mind focus that, then you already grasping to that, fixation to that object. So then you know, like it's become causes of a problem, means that you drive, you focus some cars, and then you like this way, right? You have to follow that. So then you lose your focus. Yeah, just you have to stay awareness and your practice. So whatever seeing, in the form, whatever hearing the sound, they can hear, they can see the object, we can see that, but not pay attention that, not focus that. If you focus that, then you lose your awareness, yeah? Yeah. You can hear the sound, you can see the thoughts, forms everywhere, but you just single point to your mind is there, awareness. That means like more recognized. So sometimes we think, oh, we focus on the meditation, then we cannot hear anything, we cannot say anything. That's we already said is wrong, right? So you are in the awareness, present moment in mind, then you can hear more songs. Also, you can see more details. Like example, you go to the river side and you sit down, meditate. First, you cannot see anything in the water. So your mind is more settled down, then you can see clearly in the water the tiny fish and all the rocks. So you can see clearly. Your mind is like, so you cannot see anything there. Right? Same like that, So you sit down, meditate, and first like you lots of songs, but you not any hear much. When you meditate, you hear the lots of songs, but they're not any disturbed. Just hearing the songs, but your focus awareness. So, couple of days ago, I went to meditate in the pool, swimming pool. It's totally different. So usually, okay, I go to in the pool and the water sound, I cannot hear anything much. It's my mind is like thoughts going on, right? So I focus that I don't hear anything much. And the first I did meditate and the mind for body meditation in the sauna, In the sauna I did meditate, and I come back in the pool, swimming pool, and I stay there. Then I can hear all the water, everybody, doing the water, like the song is like very clear. All is pleasant, You're so clean, mind is more clear, stable, and you hear this sound, then you can stay like no any disturbed. So many people swim and doing things there, but no any disturbed. You can stay like very calm and peace, meditate, yeah. Then you are going to end the swimming pool. I can differently, before meditation I do swim, and after meditation is totally different. Then you in the water, you can see more clearly, and then you can all feel the movement. Do you understand? Yeah. So you can feel your movement and all the like. Then you also like recognize, and not only like this, So you wanted to like, stay like very calm and peace, like the mind is like focused there. Then no any other distractions. So that kind of, like when we meditate, any object seeing, then no any distraction. That's clear for your question? Okay. You're welcome. Thank you.
I have a question, and it's based on some of the questions that I have talked with or exchanged, sharing with other Dharma practitioners. It's based on the third Pith instruction, because many of them found the temporary bliss in their meditation, and many of them grasp on that bliss because you feel happiness while you meditate, and automatically want to stay there, or they tend to have experienced
But so, usually the meditators, they have this experience, but I don't have my own experience, okay? I only follow these teachings, what they say. I don't get that meditation levels. So, okay. So this meditation, like kind of experience, sometimes people think this is it, yeah, that thing is, oh, I can realize. So then the pride also, they attach to that, you know. So then they're stuck there. They cannot through that. So that's why this any experience arises, you just stay your present moment, and this experience you cannot have attached to that, no grasping to that, yeah? And whatever comes, just letting go. So then you can liberate minds. Like you drive the car, going to, like, you seeing so many gardens, beautiful house. So then you, oh, so good house, or garden something, you know. You stay there, then you cannot get where you're going. You already stuck there, you know. But that is not so your destination.
So what is the remedy for that?
Dedication. Dedication.
Oh, dedication.
What is the? What do you say?
I said that for those people, what is a remedy? What are some remedies?
Solution is also, then just first they have to know that is the final destination. So they have to know this experience is always meditate happening, right? So the law is different kind of experience. You know, these three is just talking about generally, you know. Individual has different experiences. So any experience arises, they have to know that is not the reality. So then you also sometimes like enjoyment too much or too much sadness. So you have to cultivate and impermanent. So then that can free from sadness, free from enjoyment, attachment, you know. So then sometimes you have to do some accumulation, merit too. So then go back to meditate, and then you are not attached to that object experience, then you're free from that experience. Yeah. So that's the meditation instructions say that, talk to that. You're welcome. Anyone has any questions? Yes.
Can you explain more in detail the difference between mindfulness and awareness?
Mindfulness, awareness. What is the English difference? First, give me. Mindfulness, awareness. What is the difference in English?
In my opinion, I may be wrong, that's why I'm seeking your help. But as I understand, mindfulness means your mind is with the present moment. You know what is the present?
Right. Yes.
And awareness is a little bit
subtle.
Deeper and wider.
Yes, yes. Okay, so that's the exactly I think so. Yeah. So see, so you know the answer. Yeah, you got. See, mindfulness like more subtle level, right? No, subtle course, yeah. Course like we did a mindful meditation, like you just focus step present awareness, yeah. But present moment, mindfulness, awareness is like when you go more subtle and like awareness is like going to the special insight meditation. So no any focus like object, yeah. So your mind is resting, empty nature, yeah. Still like just nature, and you recognize that kind of like two things. Actually, they don't have two separate, but kind of two things. So, okay, we do the shamatha meditation, yeah? You use the object, mind is stay with the object. So that is kind of more mindfulness, yeah? But not really awareness go in there much. So then you, with breath, mind focused breath, also like we can say it's also mindfulness meditation. Like little bit subtle than mindful body, but not really awareness that much. So then you go to no use any object, mind just resting, yeah. No use any object, no use any support, mind is resting. So that's also shamatha. Then resting mind is, you state that you feel is emptiness. You recognize it is empty. Same time, you can see that empty mind is clearly, that called awareness. So then that is called vipassana. Then that is more subtle than mindfulness, right? Make sense? Thank you. So this is the shamatha and the vipassana also a little bit different there, yeah? Yeah, shamatha is like first step, we just mind resting with the object, or just no any using object, but mind is just stay and stillness. Then vipassana is mind that resting, that mind is empty, and the same time recognize that is present, it's empty awareness. That's called awareness. So that's the then become is really no difference much Dzogchen and Mahamudra. Dzogchen Mahamudra is directly go to that one, Thank you very much, everyone. So now we do the dedication. Dedication is page 23. Maybe some is 20, right? 22. 20 could be 21 or 23. So it's Dzogchen Chan Telopa Naropa. Okay, some is 21, some is 23. Dzogchen Chan Telopa Naropa Marpa Malarepa Dharma Lord Gambopa Pamutupa and Lord Digompa. Please bestow upon us most auspicious blessing of all the Kaju Lamas. By this virtue may achieve omniscience. By defeating all enemies' confusion, may all who travel on the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death cross the ocean of samsara. Bodhicitta, the excellent and the precious mind, where it is unborn, may it arise. Where it is born, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. I pray the Lama may have a good health. I pray the Lama may have a long life. I pray that your Dharma activities separate far and wide. I pray that I may not be separate from you. As Manjushri Devero realized the automic state, and as the Samatavada, I will follow in the path and fully dedicate all the merit for all sentient beings. By the blessing of the Buddha who attained the Trikaya, by the blessing of the truth of the unchanging Dharma as such, by the blessing of the invisible Sangha, order made, merely I share bear fruit. by the virtues collected in the three times, by my seven all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by in the rule of virtue, may I all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious enlightenment. May the teachings of great Digompa Ranachiri, first emanation, Lord of Dharma, Master of Interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of the samsara. Glorious, holy, venerable, precious, kind, rule, and lineage Lama, divine example of the Yadams and example of the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Yogins, Yoginis, and the Dzogchen, dwelling in the 10 directions. Please hear my prayer. By the power of this vast rule of virtue, may I benefit all beings with my body, speech, and mind. May the afflictions of desire, hatred, ignorance, arrogance, and jealousy not arise in my mind. May thoughts of fame, reputation, wealth, honor, and concern for this life not arise for even a moment. May my mind strength be most strengthened by loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta. And through that, may I become a spiritual master with good qualities equal to the infinite of space. May I gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra in this very life. May the torment of suffering not arise in the time of my death. May I not die with negative thoughts. May I not die confused by wrong view. May I not experience untimely death. May I die joyfully and happily in the great luminosity of the mind as such, and the providing clarity of Dharmata. May I in any case gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra at the time of death or in the Pardo. For this realm, secured by snow-covered mountains, you are the source of every benefit and blessing without exception. Tenzin Jamso, you who are one with our Lord Shora, and may you remain satisfied under samsara saying. Embodiment of the three portions givers, Pemapana who hold the teaching of the victorious one. Seeing the all goodness meaning with the wisdom eye, may you who are spontaneously establishing activity living long for hundreds of kalpas. Noble Manjushri, the Lord of speech, who manifests to hold the teaching of the Tepi Jim, who drills the lamp of the sage's teachings, may you who are the light of the Dharma living long for hundreds of kalpas. The one knows in the holy lands is Ayandeva, emanating into gargling of his Tibet as Chidemba, the hard sound of Jiktin Sungu. May the life of a glorious Garchin remain satisfied for 400 aeons. In this age of striving, the victor's teachings for his hardship, through his powerful Vajra-like conduct, he takes on himself the heavy responsibility of unbiased teaching. May Garchin, the son of teaching, living long. Now we go to the page, the last section, sorry. Yes. 38. Yes, page 38. In the center is a marvelous Buddha Amitabha of boundless light. On the right side is the Lord of great compassion, and on the left is Vajrapane, the Lord of powerful means. All are surrounded by limitless Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Immeasurable peace and happiness is the blissful purling of Devachi. When I and all beings pass from samsara, may we be born without taking samsara rebirth. May we have the blessing of meeting Amitabha face to face, by the power and the blessing of the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas and the 10 directions. May we attain this aspiration without a hindrance. Tiyata Pensandaya Avam Bodhanaya Soha. So we chant that one Tibetan. Ema Om Zara Sanje Namadaye Da Yes Chovo Tuje Chembo Dan Yonda Samban Tejen Donam La Sanje Sansen Bamin Kor Jikor De Chien Om Sarabade Me Baye De Wa Jin Ye Save Shen Gam De Da Yin De Ne Tsen Be Churma Da Che Wa Yin Je Parma Chu Bar Tere Jin Ne Nan De Sharan Dong Hyun De Ge Da Ge Mo Lan Da Ban De Chu Je San Je San Sen Dam Je Je Ke Min De Bar Sin Je Lab De Sor Dia Da Ben Zan De Ya Avam Bodhe Na Ye So Ha. The next page, Bodhicitta. The excelling in the precious mind, where it is unborn, may it arise, where it is born, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. Om Benzan Guru Dema Siddhi Hong.